Oh my Jesus. What's up, y'all? Marjack79 here. We are back again today to talk about Wonder Woman 1984. We literally just left the theater from watching it. Yeah, this is our first theatrical experience since the pandemic started. We rented out a theater, invited our family and friends, and sat and tried to enjoy this cluster muck of a movie. So we're going to talk about some good, some bad, and some horrific. So let's get started. So let's talk about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Beautiful performance. I really did enjoy Gal Gadot's performance as Wonder Woman for the third time, or the fourth time, third or fourth time. But it was really good. This is definitely the centerpiece that keeps this train moving. If without her, nothing moves forward. So it's definitely, if there was a glimmer within the movie, she is definitely it. Steve Trevor, Chris Pine's Steve Trevor, another wonderfully brilliant spot in the movie. He was able to make another portrayal as Steve Trevor. It was really good. They unlocked this magical rock, and whatever you wish on it comes true. Wonder Woman gets control of the rock, and of course she wishes to see Steve Trevor again. So definitely some of my favorite parts of the movie was seeing him react to all of the new technology in the 1980s, because obviously he is from the World War I era, back in the 1900s, 10s, 20s, so on and so forth. So definitely his portrayal, Steve Trevor, the chemistry that he shared with Gal Gadot on screen was one of the best aspects of the movie. I would not even be opposed for them to try to figure out a way to even bring him into the third movie that has already been announced, which that is a wee bit aggressive in my opinion. So now let's talk about Pedro Pascal's Maxwell Lord, the villain in the film. I judge all movies about how well the supervillain is. If it's a bad villain, it's a bad superhero movie. If it's a good villain, 9 times out of 10, it is a very good superhero film. I'm definitely used to seeing Pedro as the Mandalorian, but it was really cool to see him stretch his acting chops, seeing him in a completely different role. He's a bit of a goofy guy at first, but he kind of grows on you a bit. So obviously we're hopping into spoiler territory here, people. If you clicked on this video, I thank you and I love you, but just hit that like button and come back after you watch the movie. So obviously Maxwell Lord gets control of the rock, and he wishes for maximum power around the world. He makes his company take control of all the world's oil processing properties from all the different countries. He goes on about that. Then he goes about granting every person's wish that he comes across true, so that he can amass more power. But how the rock works: if you make your own wish come true, it takes away your most prized possession. For Diana, she got Steve Trevor, but it took away her power. And for Maxwell, it gave him like maximum power within his company and wealth, but it started to take away his health. So it looks like he has to continue to grant people's wishes, and in return, he actually disintegrates the rock and starts performing the actual rock's powers itself, so that he can eventually garner his health back from the properties of the rock. While all that's going on, he also fails to see that the only thing he really needs to do is build a good relationship with his son. And once he fails and realizes the error of his ways, then he builds a good relationship with his son in the movie. And it's a cool story, bro. So let's talk about Kristen Wiig's performance as Barbara, aka Cheetah. So her performance as Barbara, I absolutely loved. Kristen was able to bring her comedic genius, her own personal style of her own personality integrated into Barbara, which I absolutely loved that aspect of her character, like the uneasiness, the awkwardness, the comedic effect of her character was brilliant. I really loved all of the scenes with her before she got influenced by the stone's power as well. She wished to have Diana's power, which in turn she got Diana's superpower, but she lost her humanity and her charisma and her kindness. So that took away everything that I actually liked about the character, that she eventually transformed into Cheetah. But I didn't really understand that part because supposedly you were only supposed to get one wish, but somehow she got two. Yeah, I don't. It was never explained in the movie how that works because it was actually shown that Maxwell was only able to perform one wish per person. But I guess Cheetah was the exception, I guess. Okay, cool, sure. Now, when it comes to the Cheetah character itself, I hated it. It's just, no, it was terrible. The CGI properties of the fight scene between Wonder Woman and Cheetah was horrific. You know, it was dark, dimmed. I feel like they tried to hide the aspect of the computerized fight. It really reminded me of, you know how we all like loved Black Panther, the story, so on and so forth, but that one like black spot in the movie was the final fight between Black Panther and Killmonger because it was just so CGI heavy. I got that same feeling here. You know, I feel like they could have made the fight so much better if they would have just maybe put a suit on her with the cheetah, just put the fur on her, do the makeup, but they went the CGI route, they went the lazy route, and it just did not turn out well. I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan of it. It was not good. I hope they never do it again. I also did not understand the ending of that final fight either. They pulled a power line out and it was broken. Somehow they ended up in the water and they were fighting, and Diana was able to pull the power line into the water and shock Barbara, and it didn't kill her. First of all, it just put her out of commission. Okay, I've never seen, somebody get electrocuted in water to that nature and survive. I don't care how superpowered you are. That's weird. And I also didn't understand how Diana herself didn't get affected by the electrocuted water as well. I know they were trying to portray the armor as being the golden armor that she had on as being superpowered. It was a whole backstory about that, how like one of the original Amazons, supposedly their greatest fighter, went to man's world and freed all the Amazons from slavery and sent them to Amazonian, where she stayed behind and sacrificed herself with the armor with her to allow the Amazons to escape. Long story short, there's a cameo at the end of the movie with Lydia Campbell, I believe her name is, the original Wonder Woman from the 1960s series, made a cameo appearance in an after credits scene showcasing that Amazon did survive. That's pretty cool story, bro. Personally, I really didn't have any emotional attachment to that because I was born in the 80s, so I really didn't get to experience that show, but still a nice little nod to the movie. Yeah. And diving even a little bit further deeper into the purpose of the armor, I was having a hard time understanding like the movie's purpose of wanting us to understand why Diana even needed this armor to fight Cheetah in the first place, because she didn't even know that Cheetah really existed, because she fought Barbara before, but she hadn't fully transformed yet, and then she just went to go and get this armor. I'm thinking because the armor was supposed to protect from the world, from man's world, so maybe to save the world from the bad wishes or whatever. I guess they were calculating that to make sense of why she needed the armor, but in the actual fight itself, I just didn't see the necessariness of it other than to sell toys, I guess. And even as an action figure collector myself, there wasn't nearly enough of a reasoning for this armor to make me want to go out and buy it and secure it and place it in the collection, but that's just me. It is what it is. Looks cool, a lot of gold in there, but no. Also, another scene that was really driving me crazy, well, a number of scenes, honestly. The fight scenes, some of them were okay, some of them were just terrible. The beginning fight scene with the 4 kind of level 1 thugs in the mall, that was terrible. I was looking at that fight scene thinking to myself, like, I can beat these dudes. They just don't seem like any kind of a threat to anybody at all whatsoever. I'm wondering if they can even really point a gun and look down the sight and shoot it correctly. I'm not seeing it. Nope. Also, there was a scene where Diana was chasing Max in kind of a security tank process or whatever, and there were some kids in the way, and the tank was getting ready to run over the kids, and Diana had to swoop in with her lasso and save the kids, and then they slowed it down, and it was so obvious that CGI was being used in the background and the entirety of the scene, and it was not good, people. It was not good. I really try not to harp so much on the special effects. I know that takes a lot of effort, but goodness, maybe just bring in a stunt double and have it actually look somewhat real. You know what I'm saying? Because it was bad. It was just bad. And then something about Barbara's outfit when she started to turn bad. Not exactly when she turned to Cheetah, but that outfit with the prickly jacket that she had on before that or whatever, that was a weird one to me too. I wasn't really feeling that outfit. Hopefully they don't decide to make a figure of that, because no, don't do that, man. I promise. Do not do that. Okay, so I've said a lot of negative about this film, so let's switch gears and talk a little bit of positive. So like I stated at the beginning, the romantic nature of the film between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine was definitely one of the best features for sure. I wish we could see way more of that, but unfortunately the understanding that Diana has to realize that Steve Trevor is dead and gone, and it's just really just a figment of her imagination, and even Steve Trevor realizes, like, hey, like, I lived a good life, but this is destroying the world, so we have to let go of our own personal feelings and do what's right for the world. So that was definitely the biggest heartbreaking moment for the movie. It definitely touched me. That was definitely the biggest emotional impact that the movie provided. So I was happy about that. I was enjoying the movie definitely when they were having their moments on screen. Like I said, some of my favorite parts was just him noticing all the new technologies and stuff, the little fashion show that they had with each other. That was funny. Definitely good stuff. That was good cinema right there. But was it enough to overtake subpar villains and a kind of crappy story? No, it wasn't. But at least it was enjoyable enough to make the movie somewhat sustainable for me, So all in all, Wonder Woman 1984 is basically a pretty decent romantic comedy / tragedy with some subpar to horrifically bad fight scenes. I'd give it a C-. So when it comes to the pantheon of DCEU movies, I still put the original Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, and Aquaman at the top of the pantheon. But I probably put this one in the realm of, I wouldn't say it's as bad as like Suicide Squad, the Harley Quinn movie, or like Justice League. Oh God, I hate Justice League so much. Hopefully the Snyder re-release of that can save that movie, because God almighty. But yeah, was definitely just a forgettable movie, and hopefully they can take it back to the drawing board and give us a better story and some better villains for the third installment, which has already been announced. It actually got announced today. So yeah, okay, man, I think that's gonna do it. So as always, thanks everybody for watching. You can follow me at youtube.com/markjack79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like my opinion, you know what to do. Hit that like button. If you didn't like my opinion, if you just didn't like it at all, just go ahead and hit that dislike button. I understand. It is what it is. All right, man. As always, I will see you guys on the next one. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.